Wala, tol. Ing.
No.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today is B5 2026, schedule of pre-bidding conference of 7 civil works projects for this office, DPWH Cagayan de Oro First District Engineering Office. So to formally start, I would like to call Earl John Cabigon for its opening prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we gather together, we thank you for the language, we thank you to us. Thank you for all the skills and talents you have given us, and for everyone that is part of this. We pray will provide us great wisdom and insight as we discuss our plans and the execution of our business. So our hearts, you now, by the Holy Spirit, to be present among us. Thank you, Lord. Amen. Alone, man.
Thank you, Earl. So at this point, may I call our secretariat for our roll call for our activities for this afternoon.
Good afternoon again. Attendance for today's student conference, back chairperson, Engineer Jennifer Imbanaan, back vice chairperson, Engineer Asana H. Casona, regular member, Engineer Grace P. Julian, professional members, Engineer Ayani Grace P. Dapios, and Engineer Shan ETB Pinisidario, Head Back Secretariat, Engineer Aida Maranila Vidaroy, members, Mr. Efren Paderes and Ms. Tuli, Head Back PWG, Mr. Marvin Julius Chidigal, members, Engineer Camille Andy Escobedo, Engineer Melody Gail L. Bastida, Engineer Nino B. Beatty, and Mr. Earl John L. Sampson. Programmers, Engineer Tessa-In Romares, Engineer Karl Marx Pulmano, Engineer Albert E. Margin, Engineer Aris D. Caleso, and Architect Mano Pumayan. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am. So the back as well as the DWG are majority present. So there is a quorum in this room. Let us also acknowledge our viewers online. So for the information of everyone that we are live online on our YouTube channel. These proceedings are recorded. So today we are scheduled for 7 civil works projects for pre-bidding conference. So these are, first is 26KH 0056, pre-invitation, construction of Civil Service Commission 10 building, Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro City. 124.63828 and 8.48387 risk with an EBC of 4,899,645 pesos and 47 centavos. Second is contract ID number 26PH 0047, construction of multi-purpose building, 3-story 12 classroom school building at Macanhan Elementary School the school ID of 127992 at Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Oriental, with an approved budget of the contract amount of 41,159,744 pesos and 9 centavos. Third is 26PH0048, Network Development of Carriageway Improvement, Primary Roads, Butuan City, Cagayan de Oro City, Iligan City Road. S01247 MN, kilometer 1441 plus minus 840 to kilometer 1439 plus 124, with an approved budget for the contract amount of 9,443,188 pesos and 16 centavos. Fourth is 26PH0049, Rehabilitation of Road of Barangay Pagalungan, Station 0+000 to Station 0+400, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Oriental, with an EDC of 9,248,610 pesos and 83 centavos. Fifth project is 26KH0050, Asset Preservation, Rehabilitation, Reconstruction, Upgrading of Damaged paved roads, Secondary Roads, CDO-Airport-Bukidnon Road, kilometer 1459 plus 910 to kilometer 1462 plus 000 Cagayan de Oro City, with an approved budget of the contract of 36,998,543 pesos and 69 centavos. Six is 26KH0051, Asset Preservation, Rehabilitation, Reconstruction, Upgrading of Damaged paved roads, Tertiary Roads, Lumpia, Okyaban Bypass Road. S00618 MN change 3095 to change 3805, Cagayan de Oro City, with the approved budget of the contract amount of 18,497,831 pesos and 30 centavos. And last is 26KH0052, Asset Preservation, Rehabilitation / Reconstruction of roads with steep slope collapse and landslide, Secondary Roads, CDO-Airport-Bukidnon Road, kilometer 1453 plus 000 to kilometer 1453 plus 055, kilometer 1453 plus 714 to kilometer 1453 plus 782, Cagayan de Oro City. So these all projects will be discussed by our programmers. So questions and clarifications will be entertained after the discussion. So for our first project, contract ID 26KH0026, construction of Civil Service Commission 10 building, Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro City. Location of 100 coordinates of 124.63828 degrees and 8.48387 degrees. So the details of this project will be discussed by Engineer Malo Formalis, Architect Malo Formalis. So please proceed.
So good afternoon. I will be presenting to you the first project entitled Construction of Civil Service Commission 10 Building, Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro, located at Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro, with an appropriation of 5 million. So for the ABC, 4,899,645 and 47 cents. With a calendar days of 180 for major categories, BICWO PLC buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame. For similar major categories, BICWO PHC buildings, construction without piles, high-rise concrete frame. The scope of work For this project, the construction of Civil Service Commission 10 building, CSC as per plan. So this is the site of the project located at the Civil Service compound. Showing you the main entrance of the building and the proposed access for construction, which is the nearby property Bosco Sugar located at Carmen. Showing you the main building of the Civil Service Commission. This is the roof plan. The main building. And this is the proposed site area located at the rear portion of the building. So this is the proposed perspective of the project, the two-story building. For our site development plan. Only the existing building and the location. The rear area. So this is the actual site location of the project. This is agreed with the regional director. So this area is to be cleared upon commencement of the construction. So this is the floor plans, the ground floor and the second floor. So basically, this building will be utilized as a file room. The ground floor will be for their shredding machine, and then the second floor will be for their file room. So this building has a 5x10 dimension.
Yep.
So this is the front elevation. The left elevation. This is the right elevation. And the rear elevation. Slowly. Showing the cross section. And our longitudinal section. So these are our schedule of doors and windows. Our roof plan and our ceiling plan. The second floor ceiling plan and our third floor ceiling. Next is our floor finish plan for the ground floor and second floor. Then we have our next is a foundation plan. Our roofing plan and our roofing framing plan. For our footings and columns. For our scheduled footings. Column details. Our beam details. Schedule of beams. for our slab detail. Slab sections. Our longitudinal section and cross sections. For our framing and truss details. For the connection members. Their details. Walls and fence. For our items, this project, we have our other general requirements. We have permits and clearances, project billboard and signboard. To each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum, mobilization and demobilization, 1 lump sum. And then additional geotechnical investigation, 1 lump sum. For our earthworks, we have removal of structure and obstruction, 1 lump sum. And then structure excavation, common soil, 51.89 cubic meter, embankment from roadways or structure excavation, common soil, 51.44 cubic meter. And then gravel fill, 8.01 cubic meter. For our reinforced concrete, we have structural concrete 3,000 PSI class A 28 days, 26.19 cubic meters, structural concrete class A 28 days, 11.02 cubic meter, structural concrete class B 28 days, 7 cubic meter, and then link concrete 1.88 cubic meter, and then reinforcing steel, the form grade 40, 9,410.72 kilograms. And then formworks and postworks, 326.76 square meters. Under the buildings, for finishings and other civil works, soil poisoning, 7 liters, storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. Ceiling, metal frame, fiber cement board, 4.5 mm thick, 29.12 square meters. Carpentry and joinery, 1 lump sum. Finishing hardware, 1 lump sum. Aluminum frame glass doors, light type, 3.15 square meters. Aluminum frame glass doors, wing type, 5.46 square meters. Aluminum glass windows, sliding type, 14.04 square meters. Tempered glass, 12 mm thick, 7.83 square meters. And the next, fabricated metal roofing accessory, age 26, for flashings, 46.36 linear meter, pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 mm, brick type long span, 95.70 square meters, and glaze tile, 83.10 square meters. Cement plaster finish, 443.56 square meters. Acoustical ceiling panel, 96.04 square meters. Painting works, masonry and concrete, 337 square meters. Painting works for wood, 29.31 square meters. Painting works for steel, 8.32 square meters. Reflective insulation, 76.56 square meters. CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 100 mm, 132.28 square meters. Metal structure accessories, bolts and rods, 24 each. Metal structure accessories, turnbuckle, 16 each. Metal structure accessories, sag rods, 12.43 kilograms. Metal structure accessories, cross bracing, 82.06 kilograms. Metal structure accessories for steel plates, 191.48 kilograms. Structural steel, 1 lump sum. Structural steel for process, 1,172.74 kilograms. Structural steel for purlin, 662.40 kilograms. For railing, we have 1 lump sum. For electrical, conduits, boxes, and fittings, conduit works, conduit profiles, 1 lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, 1 lump sum. Lighting fixtures and lamps, 1 lump sum. CCTV system, 1 lump sum. And then for mechanical ventilating equipment, 1 lump sum. Air conditioning system package, heat type, 1 lump sum. Fire extinguisher, 4.54 kilograms, ABC with bracket, 4 sets. Fire alarm system, 1 lump sum. So showing you the next for the summary of lump sum. So for other general requirements, permits and clearances, 1 lump sum. This include for building permit and all professionals and the Bureau of Fire. So these are our safety signages for our project. So for our geotechnical soil drilling and laboratory, we have specific gravity balance with limit devices, glass plate, sieves, drilling machine with complete accessories. For geotechnical evaluation and reports, we have 5 copies each set. Geotechnical evaluation and reports, 5 copies each. Geologist, evaluation and reports, 5 copies each. There will be 2 sets of final geotechnical and geologist report that must be submitted. So this is the photo to be removed during construction and restore after construction. This is the only option for the access of the projects. Hence, it will be very difficult if the area will, because of to reduce the obstruction during office or operation of the civil service. So we have to remove the walls and then replace afterwards. So for the item, for the conduits, boxes and fittings, we have these items here. All the wirings. For conduits, boxes and fittings. And then for wires and wiring devices. For panel boards, we have main distribution panel with 200 amperes, 250 amperes, single phase, 2P, 230 volt, 60 hertz. Lemma, 1 flush mounted with 12 branches, circuit breakers. Enclosure, 20 ampere, 4 sets, 30 ampere, 6 sets. So this is 1 set. And then 280, 250 AF main circuit breaker, single phase, 2 phase, 230 volts, 60 hertz in a NEMA 3R enclosure. 1 set also. For lighting fixtures and lamps, we have 30-watt ceiling mounted LED panel light, 6,500 K, 3,030 LM, 1,200 mm by W by 300 mm, 230 volts, 60 hertz. For 15 sets. For 5-watt self-contained emergency light pack, non-maintained 8 hours duration with 2 LED lamp, 230 volts, 60 hertz for 3 sets. Then 9 watts down lighting light fixtures with 12 watts LED bulb, 6 inches or 6.6 inches diameter recessed type for 8 sets. For our ventilating equipment, 75-watt ceiling mounted exhaust fan cassette type, 60 hertz including exhaust pipes, fittings, vent caps. For 5 sets, 100 mm diameter OD polyvinyl chloride PVC pipes, exhaust pipe, 5 lengths, and then 100 mm aluminum vent cap, 2 pieces. For fire extinguisher, 4.54 kilograms APC with brackets. Fire extinguisher for 4 sets. This is wall mounted. For our air conditioning system, package heat type, 2 horsepower or 1.5 TR split type wall mounted air conditioning unit R410 refrigerant, 230 volts, 60 hertz. one diameter, including exhaust pipes, refrigerant line pipes, drain pipe, circuit breaker, other accessories and installation costs. For 4 sets. And for fire alarm system, smoke detector, we have 10 sets. Fire alarm bell annunciator, siren and strobe light for 2 sets. Fire alarm control panel, 4 zones for 1 set. And push and pull station manual, 2 sets. For our CCTV system, inclusion, CCTV camera dome type, 6 sets. CCTV camera PTZ type, 1 set. CCTV console, 1 set. Digital disc recorder, 1 set. 1.5 kVA power supply, 1 set. 22-inch LCD LED monitor, 1 unit. And then RG59 coaxial cable. So for our minimum equipment requirement, for backhoe, we have 1 unit lease, concrete vibrator, 2 unit owned, dump truck, all models, 1 unit lease, 1 bagger mixer, 1 unit owned, plate compactor, 1 unit owned, grinding machine with accessories, 1 unit owned, bar cutter, 1 unit owned, bar bender, 1 unit owned, welding machine, 1 unit owned, boom truck, 1 unit lease, material testing apparatus, 1 set owned, minor tools, 1 set owned, jackhammer, 1 unit owned, concrete pump diesel driven, 1 unit owned. So, any questions from our viewers?
Thank you, Engineer Malo. Architect Malo.
Thank you.
Is there any questions or clarifications? The details of this project? How about from our online viewers? Is there any questions? There is none. So, there is none question. So, before we proceed to our second project, so I would like to acknowledge our representative from the Department of Education, Engineer Ili Mamaklay, sir, and Engineer JB Hall. Sir, good afternoon. Welcome to our pre-bidding conference. So let's now proceed with the second project. The contract ID 26KH0047, construction of multi-purpose building, 3-story 12 CL school building at Macanhan Elementary School. The school ID of 127992, Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Oriental. With an EPC of 41,159,744 pesos and 9 centavos. So the details of these projects will be discussed by Engineer Tisa Romares. Please proceed, please.
Afternoon, everyone. I will be discussing the project construction of multipurpose building, 3-story 12-classroom school building at Macanhan Elementary School with school ID 127992, Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro City, with an appropriation of 42 million pesos located at Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro City. with an ABC of 41,999,744 and 9 centavos, and a calendar days of 300 days. Major categories: BICWO, PLC, buildings, construction without files, low-rise concrete pavement. Scope of works: construction of multipurpose building, 3-story 12 classroom school building at Macanhan Elementary School. This is the location of the project inside the Macanhan Elementary School at Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro. This is the existing building on site that will be demolished for the construction of the new building. The perspective for the new building. Site development plan.
2026 ni. Complete gutter ang pala. Requirement. Dili, talawa ang roofing. Complete gutter ni siya.
Raise.
2026 nga requirement is concrete gutter. Okay. Okay. Ang requirement sa 2026 is concrete gutter. Kinidili. Ano?
Hello sir, sige sir, noted sir. Then,
Oh,
how about sa
ano mo
ato ang mga reinforcing steels? Are we gonna use also the modified sir na grade 60 or grade 40?
yes, ma'am.
Yes sir, katong since concrete gutter ang ato ang design sir kato, are we gonna use the modified design also katong grade 60 sir or grade 40?
Grade 40 lang.
Okay.
Grade 40.
Sige sir, we will be having a big bulletin.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
This is the ground floor plan for the building. The first classroom will be assigned as a feeding room with classroom 3 and 4 combined as library. For the second floor, 2 classrooms will be combined as ICT room. And the third floor, 2 classrooms will be combined as the science. Front elevation of the building, rear elevation, left and right side elevation, longitudinal section, cross section, ground floor reflected ceiling plan, second floor reflected ceiling plan, third floor reflected ceiling plan, the roof plan, scheduled doors and windows, that detailed section of ground for strict compliance as per BP 344, detailed elevation, detailed plan, and blow up details of handrails. Ground detail. These are the details for the PWD toilet for strict compliance as per BP 344. Details of the ground floor. Details for the male toilet at second and third floor and female toilet at the ground floor. Section 1 and 2 detail for male toilet. And section 1 and 2 details for female toilet. These are the foundation plan. Ground floor framing plan. Second floor framing plan. Third floor framing plan. Roof framing plan at bottom part level. Roof framing plan. Detailed plans of combined footing and footings and footing tie beams and stick-pin columns. Schedule of footings and footing tie beams. Elevation of column and columns, schedule of columns. Schedule of beams, schedule of secondary beams. +1 elevation. Elevation of end wall frame and half truss at width 2. Schedule of trusses members and welds. Concrete sunbreaker detail. And the stairs section detail. Blow up details for the stairs. And the detail of septic vault. Detail of the cistern tank. Longitudinal section of the cistern tank. The ground floor plan, solid and wastewater line layout. Second floor, solid and wastewater line layout. Third floor plan, solid and wastewater line layout. And the roof drain layout. Ground floor water line layout. Second floor water line layout. Third floor water line layout and the roof deck water line layout. Summary of quantities. Facilities for the engineer. Construction of field office for the engineer, 1 lump sum. Permits and clearances, 1 lump sum. Project billboard and signboard, 2 each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and demobilization, 1 lump sum. For the earthworks, removal of structure and obstruction, 1 lump sum. Structure excavation, common soil, 1,338.53 cubic meters. Individual removal of trees, 1 each. Embankment from roadway structure excavation, common soil, 1,703.43 cubic meters. Embankment from barrow, common soil, 364.9 cubic meters. Gravel field, 123.81 cubic meters. For the reinforced concrete, structural concrete, 3,000 PSI, class A, 28 days, 525.09 cubic meters. Structural concrete, class B, 28 days, 81.99 cubic meters. Reinforcing steel, D4, grade 40, 118,250.40 kilograms. Formworks and false works, 2,966.83 square meters. For the finishing and other civil works, soil poisoning, 34 liters. Storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. Pipes with fittings connection, 1 lump sum. Plumbing fixtures, 1 lump sum. Stainless steel grab bar, 40 mm diameter, 7.2 linear meter. Facial mirror, 8.8 square meters. Old water line, 1 lump sum. Ceiling metal frame, fiber cement board, 4.5 mm thick, 514.02 square meters. Carpentry and joinery works, 1 lump sum. Finishing hardware, 1 lump sum. Steel lower door, 3.36 square meters. Steel window, 1 lump sum. Jealousy window glass, 67.76 square meters. Glass and glazing, 43.20 square meters. Doors flush, 16.77 square meters. Wooden door, wood panel, 45.36 square meters. Fabricated metal roofing, accessory, gauge 26, reach hip rows, 42.20 linear meters. Fabricated metal roofing accessory, gauge 26, flashing, 97.40 linear meters. Pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 mm. Corrugated long span, 548.6 square meters. Waterproofing liquid, 85.18 square meters. And glaze tiles, 34.8 square meters. Glaze tiles, 96.40 square meters. Cement plaster finish, 1,801.06 square meters. Painting works, masonry concrete, 2,496.06 square meters. Painting works wood, 565.86 square meters. Painting works steel, 793.49 square meters. Reflective insulation, 548.6 square meters. CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 100 mm, 226.54 square meters. CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 150 mm thick, 841.39 square meters. Metal structure accessories, bolts and rods, 344 each. Metal structure accessories, turnbuckle, 36 each. Metal structure accessories, sub rods, 245.09 kilograms. Metal structure accessories, cross bracing, 397.66 kilograms. Metal structure accessories, steel plates, 1,476.63 kilograms. Structural steel, 1 lump sum. Structural steel trusses, 3,864.64 kilograms. Structural steel purlins, 3,864 kilograms. Wheeling, 1 lump sum. For electrical conduits, boxes and fittings, 1 lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, 1 lump sum. Pole mounted transformer with complete accessories, single or three-phase, pole type of platform, 1 lump sum. Generator, single or three-phase, 1 lump sum. Lighting fixtures, 1 lump sum. CCTV system, 1 lump sum. For the mechanical, ventilating equipment, 1 lump sum. Air conditioning system, 1 lump sum. Water pumping system, 1 lump sum. Automatic fire sprinkler system, 1 lump sum. Fire hose cabinet assembly, 3 sets. Fire extinguisher, 4.54 kilograms with bracket, 12 sets. Fire department connections for wet and dry type system, 1 set. And fire alarm system, 1 lump sum. For the summary of lump sum, facilities for the engineer, inclusion, temporary classroom, installed partitions at covered court, permits and clearances, inclusion, building permit, all professionals, and the Bureau of Fire. For the removal of structures, inclusion is the demolition of the existing structure and the adjacent structure, the HE building, and the existing 1 classroom at the left side of the left side of the 2-story existing building, and the existing toilets at the rear side of the building. For the safety warning signs, for the plumbing fixtures, inclusion, water closet, wall hung lavatory with complete accessories, wall hung urinal with complete accessories, stainless floor drain with day sprayer, hose bit, eye wash shower combination. For the carpentry and joinery works, for the conduits, boxes and fittings, for the wires and wiring devices, for the panel board with main and branch breakers, for the pole mounted transformer with complete accessories, for the lighting fixtures and the CCTV system, for the ventilating equipment, for the air conditioning system, 4 HP wall mounted or air conditioning unit, 6 sets, water pumping system, fire alarm system, fire hose cabinet assembly, fire extinguisher, 12 sets. Minimum equipment requirement, backhoe 1 unit lease, concrete vibrator 2 unit owned, dump truck all models 1 unit owned, 1 bagger mixer 1 unit owned, plate compactor 1 unit owned, grinding machine 1 unit owned, bar cutter 1 unit owned, bar bender 1 unit owned, welding machine 1 unit owned, truck mounted crane standard lattice boom all models 1 unit lease, pump crate 1 unit lease, material testing apparatus as per DEO 11 series of 2017 1 unit owned, minor tools 1 unit. That could be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Kisa. Is there any questions on clarifications?
Yes. For the benefit ng mga sa inyo mga cloud. Can you show us na kung site din dito na ma-connect buildings?
Sir, ano hindi naman mag-reply. This portion right here, sir, there will be a bridge like, para connect siya sa existing 4-story building, sir, sa iyang right side. But the changes, sir, kay subject for bid bulletin also, sir. Same sa katayong gingon na concrete gutters, sir.
Same siya sa elevation sa 4-story 8. Okay. So, please, pwede siguro still ang i-kuan para madula na to ang pag maglinog siya natay construction joint nga mag-ana lang siya. Kay kung i-concrete na to na mabuak.
Sir, how about sir, I suggest nga dili na lang sa nando siya na lang siya i-speak up sir din. Magkuan lang di o postig o kay manggod ang movement sa atong the other kay mo naman to yan na sa analysis. How about sir kung mag-separate na lang kita sir pa kay murag page ng tuling bata. Dili na to siya i-trail dito sa existing building sir. Okay lang sa inyo.
Mas okay kung okay kung concrete na siya. Concrete no. Then still di nasa gap ana siya. Then nasa murag angle bar diri sa old sa existing 4-story 8 magkuan tag plate dito na ang bangag sa plate murag ellipse siya or oblong nya na siya bolt nya nakatabon tong naay plate pud sa taas. Kung halimbawa mulihok siya, ang katong bolt nimo magsayo-sayaw lang siya. So di maski mulihok ning isa nga lahi ang kuan, magdula to siya. Nga na lang. Sige lang, siguro maghatag lang mo ka ng shop drawing. Okay, thank you.
Is there any questions or clarifications?
Do you have representative from contractor here?
Wala nag-join sa
Okay.
How about from our online viewers? So all changes regarding of these projects will be posted in our people. So there is no question, so let's now proceed with the third project. 26 KH 0048 network development of carriageway improvement primary roads Butuan City, Cagayan de Oro City, Butuan City, Cagayan de Oro City, Iligan City Road S01247 and kilometer 1441 plus minus 842 kilometer 1439 plus 184 Cagayan de Oro City. The details of this project will be discussed by Engineer Aldrin Farfel.
Ano daw?
Pwede proceed.
Kung di mo siya.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will present the project 26K0048 network development of carriageway improvement primary road Butuan City, Cagayan de Oro City, Iligan City Road, kilometer 1441 plus minus 840 to kilometer 1439 plus 124. With the operation of 9,638,000, with approved budget for the contract is 9,443,614.75, with a total project duration of 138 calendar days, with a net length of 542 meters of 1.5 meter width paver block sidewalk with railings, and also a selected area 324 meters covered pathwalk along the sidewalk. For the location of our project, so set here at the beginning of our sidewalk is on kilometer 1441 plus minus 424, near in the front of the Boulevard Terminal intersection. Then our end of our sidewalk is on A 1440 plus 740, located near the Quick Drive. For the start of sidewalk, this is the location. So we'll follow along the existing sidewalk. We will fully develop it. And also there will be gaps due to commercial areas. We will provide a drop curb for these areas. And also, beginning at near the Cagayan de Oro, we will start the covered pathwalk at kilometer 1441 plus minus 180. So alongside the Cagayan de Oro, so this is an example of what we look like. And end of the cover pathwalk at Bay 1440, 840. And the end of our sidewalk will be near the Quick Drive or K 1440 plus 740. For the plans, detail here the red area or the red area near the left side or on the hatch bed under is the beginning of the side is the sidewalk with paver blocks. Concrete paving blocks. Also here the purple ones are the covered pathwalk. Set here your stations, the beginning and the end. So we can see here, we have a concrete paving blocks and also removal of structures, obstruction curb, and also the concrete curb precast. And our project will end at K 4040 740. For the typical details of our project, we have the typical road section with sidewalk, and also the typical section, roadway section with sidewalk and covered pathwalk. We have the same, also put the station limits here, or station limits. For the details, for the section 1, we have a proposed sidewalk with railings, 1.5 meter width. And also metal railing, 36 steel for the metal railings. On the other side, the proposed sidewalk with railings and covered pathwalk, included shown here the items needed. We have a sidewalk 100 mm thick, and we will also put the concrete paving block above it. The details for our sidewalk and also the steel cover plate of the sidewalk. We have an existing steel cover plate on the area, so we will rehabilitate it and put new ones, and also elevate the steel cover plate. For the details of our railing elevation, the end connection details and middle connection. Also the paver blocks at the left side, at the right side, and the railing elevation plan. This is the top view of our sidewalk with railings. With the shown also the existing steel gratings to be replaced. Usual offset of these steel gratings are 10 or 20 meters apart. And also the edge line white thermoplastic pavement along. Shown here the sidewalk with railings, asymmetric view. So we are the top of the existing RCBC, followed up by the sidewalk 100 mm, and on the top of it is the concrete paving blocks. Also the drop curbs. Drop curbs should be provided at pedestrians crossing and at the end of the footpath, and also in private streets or access roads. Here we have the details of the covered catwalk and front elevation. We use a galvanized steel tube, 100 mm by 100 mm by 6 mm breadth for the main beams and columns. Also with the section view A and B, and also the side elevation of our covered catwalk. So the roof plan. In our roof, we use AP painted metal sheets, grid type, and also our roof framing plan. The distance between the reinforcement needed. So the sidewalk with railings and covered catwalk is a metric view. So location in front of the Sun warehouse. So along with the for the summary of quantities, this shown here as the revised bill of quantities for this project, which will be posted in the big bulletin. So for our items, bid at 5, project billboard signboard for each. The optional safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Bid at 8, 2, traffic management, 1 lump sum. Bid at 9, mobilization, demobilization, 1 lump sum. For earthworks, we have the removal of actual structure / obstruction, 0.1 meter thick sidewalk with 774 square meters. We have the 101 4B, removal of actual structure / obstruction curb with the net length of 542.5 meters. Surplus common excavation of 305.50 cubic meters. And embankment from borrow soil with the quantity of 210.60 cubic meters. In item 401, 1A1, the metal railings, grade 36 steel. We have a net length of 542.5 meters. 436 structural steel painting works. 318.19 square meter for the painting of our metal railings. Reinforcing steel, grade 40, with the amount of 7,971.47 kilograms. Structural concrete, class A, 20.68 megapascal, 28 days of 55.15 cubic meters. Structural concrete painting works, 250.30 square meters. For the drainage and slope protection structures, we have the metal frames and gratings. So we will remove and replace the existing gratings on the sidewalk with 54 set. For miscellaneous structures, we have 601 sidewalk, 100 mm thick with 1,085 square meters. Repainted metal sheets below 0.427 mm rib type short span. For the roofing, 543 square meters. 612 reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, 54.25 square meters. For the material details, we have the 741 the concrete paving blocks, 814 square meters. So this is the paving blocks. Structural excavation, common soil, 199 cubic meters. Gravel fill, 19.84 cubic meters. For the finishing and other civil works, we have the pre-painted metal sheets. Correction, na-duplicate ang atong pre-painted metal sheets. So the real metal sheet quantities is the here below the 608.60 per meters. The painting works steel, 786.65 square meters. For metal structure, accessories, bolts, and rods, we have 1,312 each. And metal structure accessories, steel plates of 2,024.05 kilograms. And lastly, the structural steel for the main structure of our covered pathwalk is 1 lump sum. For the minimum equipment requirements, we have trailer for equipments, 1 lease, complete vibrator, 2 lease, complete batching plant, 1 lease, transit mixer, 2 lease, plate compactor. Production plate compactor is 1 lease, vibratory roller, 1 lease, motorized road grader, 1 lease, motorized road grader, 1 lease, dump truck, 2 lease, backhoe, 1 lease, backhoe with pavement breaker, 1 lease, bulldozer, 1 lease, payloader, 1 lease, water truck, slush pump, with capacity of 1,500 liters or 360 horsepower, 1 lease, cargo truck with a capacity of 9 to 10 metric tons, 1 lease, welding machine, gas or diesel driven 500 amperes, 70 horsepower, 1 lease, grinding machine and accessories, 1 lease, bar cutter, 25 mm maximum rebar, 1 lease, bar bender with a 25 mm maximum rebar of 1 lease, 1 bagger mixer, 1 lease, concrete saw, 1 lease, applicator for thermoplastic, 1 lease, also the kneading machine, 1 lease, two-way radio for traffic management, 2 lease, barricade flasher lights with 29 lease, and finally the material testing apparatus in accordance to DEO 11 series 2017 1 ohm. So thank you. So that's all for 26 KH 48.
Thank you, Engineer Andre. So is there any questions or clarifications regarding the details of this project? It's not, how about for our online viewers?
First month,
There's none. So there's no. So there's no more questions or clarifications, so it's not proceed for the fourth project. 26 KH 0049. Rehabilitation of road at Barangay Pagalungan. Station 0+000 to Station 0+400. Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Oriental. The details of this project will be discussed by Engineer Carmen Coleman. Please kindly proceed, Engineer Carmen.
Good afternoon. For rehabilitation of road at Barangay Pagalungan, Station 0 to Station 400, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental, with an EPC of 9,248,610.83 and calendar days of 134. For this project, here's the site development plan. So for this minimum equipment required, you have two-way radio, 3 lease, barricade flasher light, 10 lease, trailer for equipment, 1 lease, trailer for minor tools, 1 lease, backhoe with pavement breaker, 1 lease, payloader, 1 lease, dump truck, 2 lease, concrete saw, 1 lease, bulldozer, 1 lease, backhoe, 1 lease, motorized road grader, 1 lease, vibratory roller, 1 lease, water truck / pump, 1 lease, vibrator, 2 lease, Reader, 1 lease, concrete saw, 1 lease, bark cutter, 1 lease, mechanized joint sealer, 1 lease, and materials testing apparatus in accordance with DEO 11 series 2017, 1 set all. And 1 bagger mixer, 1 lease, and backhoe wheel mounted, 1 lease. And here are the summary of quantities or the scope of works involved for this project. We have permits and clearances, 1 lump sum for excavation permits, project billboards / signboard for each occupational safety and health program, 1 lease, 1 lump sum, sorry. Traffic management, 1 lump sum, mobilization / demobilization, 1 lump sum. And for earthworks, we have removal of actual structures / obstruction of 0.23 meters thick CP unreinforced, we have 2,000 square meters. And for 1022, surplus scope excavation, we have 780.38 cubic meters. And for structure excavation, common soil, we have 563.43 cubic meters, and embankment from roadway / structure excavation, common soil with 55.56 cubic meters. And for our sub-base and base courses, we have aggregate base course for 2011 with a quantity of 200.4 cubic meters. And for our surface courses for 311E1, we have Portland cement concrete pavement unreinforced with 0.28 meters thick, 14 days, with a quantity of 2,000 square meters. And for our drainage slope protection structures, we have 5 culverts class 4 RCPC with a quantity of 7 linear meters for cross drain. Northern Riprap class B with 289.9 cubic meters for slope protection. And the drainage and for slope protection, sorry. And stone masonry of 10.85 cubic meters for head wall for the cross drain. And here are the typical roadway sections. We have 2.5 meters for each lane of PCCP. As mentioned, we have 280 mm for the thickness of PCCP and 100 mm for aggregate base course thickness. As shown here with the proposed line canal and the proposed wheel guard and slope protection. So that's for the typical roadway sections. Proceed for the typical for slope protection structures, cross drain, and the head wall. And for the, of course, for the reblocking. So that's all for rehabilitation of road at Barangay Pagalungan. Any questions?
Thank you, Engineer Carmen. So is there any questions or clarifications regarding the details of this project? There is none. How about for our online viewers? There is none. So now let's proceed for the 5th project. 26KH0050. Asset preservation, rehabilitation, reconstruction, upgrading of damaged paved roads. Secondary roads, CDO-Airport-Bukidnon Road, kilometer 1459 plus 910 to kilometer 1462 plus 000, Cagayan de Oro City. So the details of these projects will be discussed by Engineer Ares Calizo. You can now proceed, Engineer Ares.
So good afternoon, everyone. Asset preservation, rehabilitation, reconstruction, upgrading of damaged paved road, secondary road, CDO-Airport-Bukidnon Road, Station K1459, plus 910 to Station K1462. So this is located in Barangay Danzolion, Cagayan de Oro City, with a net length of 2,090 meters, with an appropriation of 36,998,543.69 and project duration of 315 calendar days. So the scope of work is rehabilitation of existing paved road to PCCP paved road with thickness of 0.28 meters thick and 3.35 meters with both sides and installation of solar LED roadway lightings 9 meters high. So general drawing, it is located in Barangay Danzolion. This is the vicinity map. And for the site development plan, this is the whole stretch. We accompanied with each northing and easting of the project. So for geotag images, this is the beginning of the project after the asphalt section of the road. And this is the end section with its kilometer post station limit according to its station limit. And this is the disposal site plan. So for planning profile, it is the scope of work is also put here. So every scope of work of every station limits. So this is the planning profile. So not the whole stretch of the project is to be rehab since there are stations with new PCCP. So the scope of work is here to guide the project works. So also there's also stationing of the solar LED roadway lightings. So these are the planning profile. So for typical drawings, this is the typical drawings. So there's a section wherein there's just existing 2 lanes, and there's also existing 4 lanes. So we will be rehabilitating most of it the inner 2 lanes. And also on the project, there's also company reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings. So the whole stretch. So these are the details of the reblocking, the detail for reblocking. PCCP details and geometric design standard drawings. So for summary of quantities, we have here provision of field office for the engineer rental basis 10.5 months. Permits and clearances 1 lump sum, project billboard and signboard for each. Occupational safety and health program 1 lump sum, traffic management 7.87 months. Mobilization and demobilization 1 lump sum. Removal of actual structure obstruction 0.23 meters thick, PCCP unreinforced 10,839.18 square meter. Surplus common excavation is 3,965.47 cubic. Structure excavation common soil 30.10 cubic. Embankment from roadway structure excavation common soil 84.7 cubic. Gravel fill is 2.74 cubic. Aggregate base course 2,167.84 cubic. Portland cement concrete pavement unreinforced 0.28 meters thick 14 days 10,839.18 square meter. Reinforcing steel grade 40 1,245.65 kilograms. Structural concrete 20.68 megapascal class A 14 days 13.91 cubic. Structural concrete painting works 15.2 square meter. And reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white 733 square meter. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings yellow 439.47 square meter. And single arm solar LED roadway lighting 9 meters pole 82.125 watts 19 each. So for our minimum equipment required, we have here a backhoe 1 list, dump truck 2 list, bulldozer 1 list, payloader 1 list, motorized road grader 1 list, vibratory roller 1 list, water truck pump 1 list, plate compactor 1 list, transit mixer 4 list, concrete vibrator 2 list, concrete batch plant 1 list, concrete spreader 1 list, concrete saw 1 list, bar cutter single phase 1 list, joint sealer machine 1 list, bar bender 1 list, 1 bagger mixer 1 list, truck mounted crane 21 to 25 metric ton 1 list, cargo service truck 2 to 5 metric ton 1 list, cargo service truck 9 to 10 metric ton 1 list, backhoe breaker 1 list, applicator machine 1 list, kneading machine 1 list, and material testing apparatus is 1 owned. Also for two-way radio, we have here 2 list, and barricade flasher light 29 list. So for the inclusions of our pay items, we have here item 8.1.18, provision of field office for the engineer rental basis. The inclusion of this pay item is 20-footer container van with ACU furnished and maintained, or if not available on site, for equivalent. So also there's an inclusion of 3 tables and 3 chairs. So for item B.3 permits and clearances, the inclusion of this item is the NCIP permits and clearances as per memo order number R10 at BV 00395 series of 2025. And also for the specifications of our single arm solar LED roadway lighting, 9 meters pole, 1 to 5 watts. So also the attachments of our soil test report. And as for the road right of way, it will be submitted to the bid bulletin since it is on process. So that's all for this project. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Engineer Harris. So is there any questions or clarifications? There is none. How about our online viewers? There is none. So there is no questions and clarifications for this project. So let's now proceed for our sixth project. 26KH 0051. Asset preservation, rehabilitation, reconstruction, upgrading of damaged paved roads. Tertiary roads, Lumbia, Ogyaban, Bypass Road. S0061 and GH 3095 to GH 3805, Cagayan de Oro. And the details of these projects will be discussed by Engineer Aris Calis. Go ahead.
So good afternoon again, everyone. Asset preservation, rehabilitation, reconstruction, upgrading of damaged paved road, tertiary roads, Lumbia, Ogyaban, Bypass Road, with chainage 3095 to chainage 3805. And also barangay located in Barangay Dansulian, Cagayan de Oro City, and with a net length of 710 meters. With an approved budget for the contract is 18,497,831.30. So project duration is 233 calendar days, and the scope of work is the rehabilitation of existing paved road, PCCP paved road, thickness of 0.28 meters thick and 3.35 meters with both sides. Also, there's a construction of open line canal with a material use of structural concrete and installation of solar LED roadway lightings 9 meters high. So general drawing, this is located in Barangay Dansulian. This is the bypass road. So this is the site development plan with its coordinates. So for these are the geotag images. Also, after the asphalt section, we will be having the rehabilitation of road. And this is the end section of the project. And this is the disposal site plan. So for the planning profile, this is the planning profile with its labeled scope of works. So we will be rehabilitating the existing number of lanes is just 2, so we will be rehabilitating the 2 lanes. And also there's an construction of open end canal. As you can see here, there's a station limit. And also the solar LED roadway lightings stationing. So this is the straight line diagram. For typical drawings, this is the typical drawings. We have here 2-lane, 3.35 meters width of existing road to be rehabbed. And also there's an existing shoulder and the construction of solar roadway lightings. And also these details for construction of line canal along with the station limits. And also there's this project has an accompanied reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings all length, and the details for the reblocking. So for the PCCP details and the geometric design standard drawings. So for our summary of quantities, we have here a provision of field office for the engineer rental basis 7.77 months. Permits and clearances, 1 lump sum. Project billboard signboard, 4 each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Traffic management, 5.8 months, and mobilization, demobilization, 1 lump sum. For removal of actual structure obstruction, 0.23 meters thick. PCCP and reinforced 4,757 square meter. Surplus common excavation is 1,669.44 cubic. Structure excavation common soil 324.66 cubic, and gravel fill of 29.93 cubic. Aggregate base course 951.4 cubic. Portland cement concrete pavement and reinforced 0.28 meters thick. 14 days, 4,757 square meter. For the reinforcing steel, grade 40, 9,698.84 kilograms. Structural concrete, 20.68 megapascal, class A, 14 days, 127.76 cubic. Structural concrete painting works, 2.4 square meter. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, 169 square meter. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings yellow, 53.44 square meter. And the single arm solar LED roadway lighting, 9 meters pole, 82,125 watts, 3 each. So for the minimum equipment requirement, we have here backhoe, 1 lease, dump truck, 2 owned, bulldozer, 1 lease, payloader, 1 lease, motorized road grader, 1 lease, vibratory roller, 1 lease, water truck pump, 1 owned, plate compactor, 1 owned, transit mixer, 4 lease, concrete vibrator, 2 owned, concrete batch plant, 1 lease, concrete skidder, 1 owned, concrete saw, 1 owned, bar cutter, single phase, 1 owned, joint sealer machine, 1 lease, bar bender, 1 owned, 1 bagger mixer, 1 owned, truck mounted crane, 1 lease, cargo service truck 2 to 5 metric ton, 1 lease, cargo service truck 9 to 10 metric ton, 1 lease, backhoe with breaker, 1 lease, applicator machine, 1 lease, needling machine, 1 lease, and material testing apparatus, 1 owned. For the two-way radio, 2 owned, and barricade flasher light, 29 owned. So for the inclusions of our pay items, we have here 8.1.18, provision of field office for the engineer rental basis. The inclusion of this pay item is 20-footer container van with ACU, furnished and maintained or equivalent. So there's also an inclusion of 3 tables and 3 chairs. So for B.3 permits and clearances, the inclusion of this pay item is in CIP permit and clearances as per memo order number R10FBV00395 series of 2025. And also for the inclusion of our the specifications of our single arm solar LED roadway lightings, 9 meter pole, 1 to 5 watts. And again, the soil test reports of this project, and also for the road right of way, it will be submitted at the bid bulletin since it's still going process. So that's all for this project. My question. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Alice. So is there any questions or clarifications? Thank you. There's none. How about our online viewers? So there's none. So there's no questions. The details of these projects. So now let's proceed for our last projects for this afternoon to be discussed. 26 KH 0052, asset preservation, rehabilitation, reconstruction of roads with beams, slope collapse, and landslide. Secondary Road, CDO-Airport-Bukidnon. Kilometer 14 plus 000 to kilometer 1453 plus 055. Kilometer 1453 plus 714 to kilometer 1453 plus 7 Cagayan de Oro City. So the details of this project will be discussed by Engineer Andre Martin. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will present the 26 KH 0052, the asset preservation, rehabilitation, reconstruction of roads with slips, slope collapse, and landslides, secondary roads, CDO-Airport-Bukidnon Road, kilometer 1453 plus 002, kilometer 1453 plus 055, and kilometer 1453 plus 714 to kilometer 1453 plus 782. So we have an operation of 24,095,000. with approved budget contract 23,612,986.81 pesos. With a total project duration of 212 calendar days, with a net length of 55 meters slope protection, with C-type steel sheet pile 8 meters, and also a retaining wall on section 2, 5-meter height, 68 meters, retaining wall 5-meter height, and a 83-meter extension of the existing retaining walls with a height of 1.5. For the location of our project, so this is the location of our project. So we have section 1 and section 2. For section 1, it is located near the 4053 kilometer post. The project is on the left side, on the slip side. So set here the assumed location for the access road, for the access road location for the slope protection. So you can see here in the slip area, we have the slope protection needed to constructed near many trees. So nato na siyang pa-check sa atong row, and also na-count na po pila ka trees ang possible na included to. For section 1, with kilometer 1453.00 to kilometer 1453.055. So the top view for the plan. So the left side, that is the location of our project. We have a transverse beams, 3 meters in between, and also tie beams. The usual, the average height of the average elevation of our slip slope is 12 meters. So we proceed on section 2. Section 2 of kilometer 1453 plus 714 to kilometer 1453.782. So the red line is the 5 meter. I will build a 5 meter retaining wall with a net length of 668 meters. And also we will connect we will add additional height to the existing retaining walls para ma-ano siyang uniform. So top view of our project, section 2. For typical details, you have the proposed retaining, you have the typical road section 1, roadway section 1, said here for our slope protection, with at the bottom we'll have a 8 meter length steel sheet pile. The first berm we have a 3 to 5 meter berm height, and the proceeding berm heights will be 3 meters. Down here we will see the distances between the transverse beams, which is 3 meters in between, and also the tie beam along the length. With the isometric view, and also the typical section of a grouted riprap, and the wing guard detailed perspective. The details for pedestal with footing detail, the hot rolled Z-type steel sheet pile with a net length profile of 8 meters. The transverse beam details, also the spring beam details. The steel sheet pile top details on the bottom. For the section 2, we have typical roadway section 2, the 5 meter height retaining wall. We have a gravel field, 0.1, 0.1 thick lean concrete, also stone masonry behind the retaining wall, and also structural installation. We have the isometric view, the retaining wall, and also the refactorize the traffic paint markings and also its details. The details for our retaining wall. So we have the height of 5 meters, so we'll follow the 5-meter height, concrete dimensions in centimeter. And also the bar dimensions. For the connection detail of existing retaining wall, so we have a 1.5 meter height, additional retaining wall, and also the detail connection in between and also the reinforcement needed. For the minimum equipment requirements, we have the trailer for equipments, 1 list, crawler crane, 1 list, vibro hammer, 1 list, welding machine, 500 ampere, 1 list, cutting outfit, 1 list, backhoe, 1 list, motorized road grader, 1 list, vibratory roller, 1 list, water truck, 1 list, dump truck, 1 list, payloader, 1 list, bulldozer, 1 list, chainsaw for our individual removal of trees, 1 list, backhoe with breaker, 1 list, boom truck, 1 list, bar cutter, 1 list, bar bender, 1 list, cargo/service truck, all models within 9-10 metric tons, capacity, 1 list, 1 bagger mixer, 1 list, concrete vibrator, 1 list, backhoe wheel mounted for the stone masonry activities, 1 list, bed compactor, 1 list, truck mounted crane, 1 list for the deliveries of the steel sheet piles. Generators set all, 1 list, maybe which makes 700 kilowatt to 875 kilovolts. 700 kilowatt and 875 kilovolts. A two-way radio for traffic management, 2 list, barricade flasher light, 29 list, and material testing apparatus in accordance to DEO 11 series of 2017-10. For the summary of quantities, this is the revised bill of quantities for this project, which will be posted in the bid bulletin. For the facilities for the engineer, we have the provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, 7.07 months. For other general requirements, we have project billboard, signboard, 1 for each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 list. Traffic management, 1 list, 1 lump sum. Mobilization, demobilization, 1 lump sum. For our B15.15, 1 detour and access road, 1 lump sum. So we'll elaborate it later. For the earthworks, clearing and grabbing for the slope protection area, 0.076 hectares. Individual removal of trees, 150 mm to 300 mm diameter small, 90 each. Individual removal of trees, 301 mm to 500 mm diameter small, 34 each. For the structure excavation of rock, 605.90 cubic meters. Embankment from borrow common soil, 172.99 cubic meters. For overhaul, 124 cubic meter kilometer. The overhaul is connected to the individual removal of trees. I will explain later for summaries. Also reinforcing steel, grade 40, 7,238.8 kilograms. Reinforcing steel, grade 60, 13,580.20 kilograms. Structural concrete, class A, 20.68 megapascal to take days is 346.54 cubic meters. Structural concrete painting works for retaining wall with a quantity of 548.30 square meter. Lean concrete, class B, 16.5 megapascal with a quantity of 17.68 cubic meters. For the drainage and slab protection structures, we have grouted riprap, class B, 292.14 cubic meters. Stone masonry, 330.23 cubic meters. Hand-laid rock embankment for the slope protection with a quantity of 253.26 cubic meters. For the miscellaneous structures, we have the seedlings/stock links for other programs and initiative. So in line with the individual removal of trees. We have 126 each. For the Part LB, debunk and slope protection works, we have the gravel fill of 21.07 cubic meters. Furnishing of steel sheet pile Z-type 350 of 43,891.20 kilograms. So this is the delivery on site of the needed Z-type steel sheet pile, and also the steel sheet pile driven Z-type 350 with the quantity of 576 meters. So this is the activity to drive the sheet piles na. For the provision of lump sums, we have the provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, a 120-foot container van with ACU furnished and maintained or of equal to be turned over at the office after the project. So in line here, we have it should have a 3 office table, 1 office chair, 2 folding table, and 2 folding chair. For the B.15 detour / access road, it is to access the project location. So it's very steep area. So for the equipment use, there will be roller crane, the vibro hammer, the backhoe, motorized grader, and also the vibratory roller. And materials used are based on the lupa that I computed. There's a common barrow of 250 cubic along the 20-meter axis going down, and also the steel sheet pile U-type of 6,600 kilograms for stability para dili mo roll down ang atong embankment and anti-access down. For the overhaul, the item 107, 1 overhaul, it is to haul the removed trees from site to DNR Centro Unit Town. So this item para ma-deliver na to ang atong DNR sa DNR Centro ang removed trees sa area. The equipments used are dump truck and boom truck. And item 611, seedling saplings and other program initiatives. Instead here in one quantity or each is equals to 100 saplings na siya. So thank you. That's all for this project. For the project 26-052.
Thank you, Engineer Alvin. So is there any questions or clarifications regarding the details of the project? There's none. How about our online viewers? So there's no more questions. So with that, let's conclude for the discussions of the details of the projects. So at this point, may I call Engineer Sherla for the instructions and guidance for our prospective bidders.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vice Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. I will be discussing the procurement requirements and procedures for these infrastructure projects. So here we have the civil works projects with their corresponding contract IDs, the approved budget for the contract. For the agenda is to discuss the project details and the basic contract data, brief orientation on the minimum requirements that must be complied by the bidders and the common reasons for the non-compliant bidders. For the procurement schedule, the buying of tender documents is until May 19, 2026 at 9:30 AM only. The deadline for the submission of bids will be on May 19, 2026 until 10 AM. And the opening of bids will follow right after the deadline or the drafting of bids. For the submission of bids, it may be done manually or electronically. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. So here we have the manual submission where we have the two envelope system. The first envelope contains the technical documents and the second envelope will contain the financial documents of the bidders. These documents are separated and in sealed bid envelopes with one original and two copies. For the electronic submission, the details are stated in the bid data sheet in accordance with the Department Order 87 series of 2020. Bid proposals may be submitted to an authorized representative together with the original authorized special power of attorney for sole proprietorship or board partnership, joint venture resolution with secretary certificate for corporations, partnership, joint venture, cooperative, which is contract specific and presentation of company ID or any government issued ID to ensure the representative is an official member and to prevent fraudulent actions such as unauthorized use of another contractor's eligibility for personal gain. So for the first envelope, the bidder must provide a valid and updated PhilGIPS registration certificate in all pages. And a failure of bidder to update the PhilGIPS certificate of registration shall result in an automatic suspension of the bidder's certificate. Next, the bidder must provide a statement of all of its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started. And for additional information, failure to disclose the required information or providing incomplete or false details may result in disqualification from the bidding process. And also the bidder must provide the single largest completed contract or the SLCC, a pickup license or special pickup license for joint venture, the bid security. The bidder will only choose one form to be submitted. Here we have 4 forms of bid security. We have the cash or cashier's check, the bank guarantee, the surety bond, and the bid security declaration. So here we have the standard form for the bid security declaration. And next, the bidder must provide an organizational chart for the contract, the list of contractors' key personnel, and the list of contractors' major equipment units. Now, please see in the attached bidding documents for the required number of years for the contract, key personnel, and the number of units and capacity for the major equipment. Here we have the standard form for the key personnel and the standard form for the list of contractors' major equipment. And also the bidder must provide an original and duly signed obligor sworn statement, the net financial contracting capacity or the NFCC, and joint venture agreement in case of joint venture. Here we have the standard form for the omnibus sworn statement. For the second envelope, the bidder must provide an original and duly signed financial bid form, the bill of quantities, the detailed estimates, and the cash flow by quarter. So here we have the standard forms for the bid form, the bill of quantities, detailed estimates, and the cash flow by quarter. So here we have the common grounds from the non-compliant bidders. The observation from previous procurement activities, we have the missing or incomplete required documents, unsigned or improperly signed forms, incorrect or inconsistent computation in the bill of quantities or financial proposal, expired or invalid licenses and permits, non-compliance with specified technical requirements, and failure to use prescribed forms. So to avoid that, we have the preventive measures and recommendations. We have to carefully check the validity of all documents, ensuring all forms are signed by the authorized signatory, using the exact forms provided in the bidding documents, verifying computations before submission, and organizing documents according to the prescribed sequence, and asking clarifications from the box secretariat within the allowable period. So for the other matters, we have the department order number 110 series of 2024. This is the implementation of the ISO 9001C 2015 certification requirements for large A, medium B, and medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. So the department is required to include ISO 9001 2015 certification or its latest version as applicable as part of the procurement requirements and the bidding documents for infrastructure projects. Here we have the BCAB light size range and the allowable range of contract cost. This is only applicable for projects with EPC of more than 30 million, but less than 150 million for medium A contractors. More than 150 million, but less than 300 million for medium B, and more than 300 million, but less than 450 million for large A contractors. And that is also Vice Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Sherla. So is there any questions or clarifications regarding on the discussions of the structure of guidance for responsive leaders? How about government views? So there is none. So with that, that ends our pre-bidding proceedings this afternoon. So thank you very much, everyone, and once again, good afternoon.